Picturesque and enchanting, the state of Jammu and Kashmir is hailed all over the world as paradise on earth for its incredible natural beauty. Surrounded by mountain peaks, lush green valleys, glistening lakes and spectacular Mughal-era gardens, it has inspired poets through centuries. But unfortunately, this beautiful land has been turned into hell by Indian forces, and its residents have been suffering the worst human rights abuses for more than 7 decades. Kashmiris across the line of control and all over the world observe October 27th as a black day every year to remind the world community in general and the United Nations in particular of their promise made to Kashmiri people.
State of Jammu and Kashmir in geographical, economical, cultural, traditional and historical perspectives, is a part of Pakistan. The hypocritic Hindu leadership had forged a plan against Pakistan. According to a well-thought plan, they landed their troops in Jammu and Kashmir and occupied a large part of it.
India started state terrorism in the occupied territory to crush Kashmiris' legitimate freedom struggle with use of brute force, which has resulted in the martyrdom of nearly 100,000 innocent Kashmiris. Human rights abuses at the hands of Indian occupation forces in Jammu and Kashmir range from mass killings, enforced disappearances, torture, rape and sexual abuse to political repression and suppression of freedom of speech.
The Indian soldiers are free to choose whom they wish to rape, and they rape them. It doesn't matter the age. I interviewed an 82-year-old Kashmiri woman who had been raped by 10 Indian soldiers. I interviewed her family, who documented that this has happened. And you and I know, and the world should know, that it's a very difficult thing for a Muslim woman to admit she has been violated. I filmed those things. I interviewed those people. I have never seen such abuse anywhere else in the world.
From January 1989 to end of July 2022, over 96,000 innocent Kashmiris have been killed by trigger-happy Indian troops in acts of state terrorism, out of which over 7,200 were custodial killing. As a result of Indian atrocities, over 22,900 Kashmiri women have been widowed and over 107,800 children orphaned. During the past 33 years, Indian occupation forces arrested over 164,900 Kashmiris, and over 110,430 houses and shops were completely destroyed or badly damaged. During this period, savage Indian Army personnel also gang-raped and molested over 11,240 women of all age.
I'm deeply concerned by what I hear. Women talk of rape, of separation from their families, their young men taken to camps without trial. I've seen people who sustained injuries, and so I have seen with my own eyes the extent of the horror. And this is a serious human rights issue which concerns the world.
The use of pellet guns in Jammu and Kashmir to disperse peaceful protesters is categorically a war crime. India first started using pellet-firing shotguns against Kashmiris in 2010, but the matter hit international prominence in 2016 when protests following the martyrdom of Burunwani resulted in thousands of injuries, the blinding of hundreds and the deaths of over 70 people.
But a female pellet died.
When I was hit by the pellets, I was in shock. Back then I didn't even know what a pellet injury was. We used to sit in the street, but now we don't because we are scared.
On the 5th of August, 2019, the fascist Indian government led by hardline Prime Minister Modi unlawfully and unilaterally revoked the semi-autonomous, special status granted to the occupied state under Articles 370 and 35A in the Constitution of India. Simultaneously, India put Kashmir under a complete military lockdown. The Indian Occupation Administration enacted a digital apartheid in Kashmir, which is a form of systemic and pervasive discriminatory treatment and collective punishment for Kashmiris demanding freedom. Through the digital apartheid and gag of media, India has been trying to keep the world in the dark about gross human rights abuses being committed by its forces.
India has imposed a media blackout to hide killings, economic devastation and the freedom struggle of people in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Every day, Kashmiris are being tortured, martyred in crackdowns. Human rights are being violated on a regular basis by the Indian troops.
Pakistan has time and again reiterated its stance on all international forums and has highlighted Indian brutalities in Kashmir to the world to act and end Indian atrocities by immediate implementation of UN resolutions. Rampant abuse of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the ravaging Indian forces in the illegally Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir calls for the attention of the international community to probe into the violations of human rights in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir.